Alright, people, this is part two of the video. Apparently, it broke into half because my cell phone was too full. Alright, this is going to be part two. It's supposed to be just one straight video, but I guess we'll see what happens when I do a part one and a part two. But like I said, there's a lot you could have done with Rose Wilson, the daughter of Slade Wilson, better known as Deadstroke. I mean, she was a female genetic enhanced female super soldier. And like I said, the fighting scenes in season two of Arrow, I think to this day, season two of Arrow is by far the best season in television. Like some people are going to say it's actually season three or season four. Some might argue it's six or seven. That's the best season. I'm going to say season two was the best because you didn't just have one genetic enhanced super soldier, you actually had two, and you had the daughter, where we eventually got to see the son of Deadstroke in later television seasons, but his story progression and story character is just normal and common. Like, okay, he meets the girl, he falls in love with a girl, he breaks up with the girl, and then he turns bad. That's so predictable. And that's no fun in television. And if you're a fan of those characters, that's too predictable and that's not fun. Now, with Rose Wilson, the daughter of Slade, aka Deadstroke, why it's more of a bigger impact of her character is because no one expects a physically sexually attractive woman to do anything. And some men actually like the idea of a girl being so unpredictable that, like I said, the fighting scenes, the sword fights, the martial arts, that was badass. And her character could have had a better story progression. Like I said, they could have had her just escape at the end of season two and make it where it's 10 to 15 years later and her character comes back to get revenge on Oliver Queen and she's fighting the Black Kachari or any other characters from the Flash. Like, you could have put her on the Flash, you could have put her on Legends of Tomorrow, just to let you know that that character still exists. Now, I do believe if they were to make a live television show or movie of Deadstroke, you actually could make a TV show called The Deadstrokes, or you can call it Slade Wilson, and you can make it where the father went missing and the daughter wants to find her father, and she goes into this city to track down all the characters of the original Arrowverse. I mean, you could do that. Now, I'm pretty sure she was only in one season, and to me, the actress that played her was very physically, sexually attractive. And to me, her story has more of a bigger impact than her brother, because there's the son and there's the daughter who inherit the abilities of Slade Wilson. So she is a very strong, powerful female character. All right, coming in at number four is Pamela Ivy, aka Poison Ivy. Now, this is one of my favorite badass DC female supervillains. She's very unpredictable, very strong, very powerful. She can contend with Batman, Superman, Arrow, Red Arrow, The Flash, Green Lantern. She can contend with any character in DC. Now, we have not ever seen a good interpretation of her character in television or in film. Now, in Gotham, they show one accurate comic book version of her character. The progression of her, transforming into a full adult with her shape shifting abilities. That she does have telekinesis, telepathy, matter manipulation. She can control animals, plants, and with her enhanced abilities, if she kiss you, that's it, you bite it. Whereas in that terrible Batman and Robin movie, they failed to give us an accurate interpretation of Poison Ivy. They found the right actress to play Poison Ivy. I mean, because there's like four different versions of Poison Ivy. There's one where she was a nerd from high school and college, and she got punked and bullied, and then all of a sudden she becomes Poison Ivy. Or there's the other one from DC 52, where she was actually born with these abilities, and as time went on, she just got strong and powerful with her abilities to control plants and animals, and started using her abilities to fight people like Batman and Superman. And to me, if you are going to do the new Batman movie, they already referenced that her character exists in that universe. You know, the Robert Pattinson's Batman. Like, I would have still would actually like to see by the second or third film that her character actually gets to show up, and you have that legendary DC picture by Warner Brothers cartoon, The Avengers of Batman and Robin, where Poison Ivy's actually sitting at the table playing crabs and cards with Two-Face, Penguin, and Riddler, and they're all telling their stories of how Batman arrested them and sent them to jail, and they all talk about how they want their payback on Batman, and then her talking about how he rejected her at dinner, and when she learned his secret identity, like that's what you got to give the character of Poison Ivy. She found out his identity, and then she found out what his strengths and weaknesses were. Where other supervillains could not figure out Batman, Poison Ivy actually figured out Batman in ways you cannot imagine. And to me, I'm still waiting. Like, if you can do a Harley Quinn movie, what's to stop you from doing a Harley Quinn television series or a Poison Ivy movie? Because believe that some of these characters are going to get their own movies. Like Joker was so successful, you could make a movie called Poison Ivy where you can take some roots and some blueprints from the Joker movie and call it Poison Ivy, where it's just about her abilities and how she eventually becomes a villain that fights Batman. So if the Joker's gonna get 3 movies and you've already gave Harley Quinn 2 films, somewhere in there Poison Ivy's gonna be a villain to contend with. It's not just Bane and all these other characters, but Poison Ivy stands out because she's a fan favorite. Men find Poison Ivy physically